Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Narayanam Namaskrityam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Verse 10. Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Niharam Jiva Gopati.
Niharam Eva Gopati.
Vidamantam Sanikarshe.
Vidamantam Shanikarshe.
Paryaikshataka iti asau.
Paryayikshata iti asau.
Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Niharam Jiva Gopati.
Niharam Eva Gopati.
Vidamantam Sanikarshe.
Vidamantam Sanikarshe.
Paryaikshataka iti asau.
Paryayikshata iti asau.
Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Astra Tejasva Gadaya.
Niharam Jiva Gopati.
Niharam Eva Gopati.
Vidamantam Sanikarshe.
Vidamantam Sanikarshe.
Paryaikshataka iti asau.
Paryayikshata iti asau.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Synonyms: Astra Teja, radiation of the Brahmastra.
Astra Teja, radiation of the Brahmastra.
Swagadaya, by means of his own club.
Swagadaya, by means of his own club.
Niharam, drops of dew.
Niharam, drops of dew.
Eva, like.
Eva like.
Gopati, the sun.
Gopati, the sun.
Vidamantam, the act of vanishing.
Vidamantam, the act of vanishing.
Sannikarshe, nearby.
Sanikarshe, nearby.
Paryaikshatha, observing.
Paryekshata, observing.
Ka, who.
Who.
Iti, asau, this body.
Iti asau, this body.
Translation, please repeat after me. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra.
The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra.
Just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew.
Just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew.
He was observed by the child.
He was observed by the child.
Who thought about who he was.
Who thought about who he was.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, verse 11. Vidhuyatad ameyatma.
Vidhuyatad ameyatma.
Bhagavan dharmagub vidhu vibhu.
Bhagavan dharma gubhibhu.
Mishatho dashma sasya.
Mishato dashmasya.
Tatraivantar dhade hari.
Tatraivantar dade hari.
Vidhuyatad ameyatma.
Vidhuyatad ameyatma.
Bhagavan dharmagub vibhu.
Bhagavan dharma gubhibhu.
Mishatho dashama sasya.
Mishato dashamasasya.
Tatraivantar dadhe hari.
Tatraivantar dade hari.
Viduyatadameyatma.
Vidhuyatad ameyatma.
Bhagavan dharmagub vibhu.
Bhagavan dharma gubhibhu.
Mishatho dashamasasya.
Mishato dashamasasya.
Tatraivantar dade hari.
Tatraivantar dade hari.
Synonyms. Vidhuya, having completely washed off.
Viduya, having completely washed off.
That.
That.
Ameyatma, the all-pervading super soul.
Ameyatma, the all-pervading super soul.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
Dharmagub, the protector of righteousness.
Dharmagub, the protector of righteousness.
Vibhuhu, the supreme.
Vibhu, the supreme.
Mishatha, while observing.
Mishatha, while observing.
Dashama Sasya, of one who is dressed by all directions.
Dasamasasya, of one who is dressed by all directions.
Tatra eva, then and there.
Tatra eva, then and there.
Out of sight. Anta, out of sight.
Anta, out of sight.
The day became.
The day became.
Hari, the Lord.
Hari, the Lord.
Translation, please repeat after me. While thus being observed by the child.
While thus being observed by the child.
The Supreme Lord Personality of God, the super soul of everyone and the protector of the righteous.
The Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone and the protector of the righteous.
Who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once.
Who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. Purport. Child Parikshit was not observing a living being who is limited by time and space. There is a gulf of difference between the Lord and the individual living being. The Lord is mentioned herein as the supreme living being, unlimited by time and space. Every living being is limited by time and space. Even though a living being is qualitatively one with the Lord, quantitatively, there is a great difference between the Supreme Soul and the common individual soul. In the Bhagavad Gita, both the living beings and the Supreme Being are said to be all-pervading. Yena sarvam idam tatam. Yet, there is a difference between these two kinds of all-pervasiveness. A common living being or soul can be all-pervading within his own limited body, but the supreme living being is all pervading in all space and all time. A common living being cannot extend its influence over another common living being by its all pervasiveness. But the Supreme Supersoul, the personality of Godhead, is unlimitedly able to exert his influence over all places and all times and over all living beings. And because he is all pervasive, unlimited by time and space, he can appear even within the womb of the mother of child Parikshit. He is mentioned herein as the protector of the righteous. Anyone who is a surrendered soul unto the Supreme is righteous, and he is specifically protected by the Lord in all circumstances. The Lord is the indirect protector of the righteous, of the unrighteous also, for he rectifies their sins through his external potency. The Lord is mentioned herein as one who is dressed in the 10 directions. This means dressed with garments on 10 sides, up and down. He is present everywhere and can appear and disappear at his will from everywhere and anywhere. His disappearance from the sight of the child Parikshit does not mean that he appeared on the spot from any other place. He was present there, and even after his disappearance, he was there. Although invisible to the eyes of the child, this material covering of the effulgent firmament is also something like a womb of the mother nature, and we are all put into the womb by the Lord, the Father of all living beings. He is present everywhere, even in this material womb of Mother Durga, and those who are deserving can see the Lord.
हरि ओम तत्सतो मैं ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखाम् करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपदाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामधाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंद राम श्री मधुसूदनम् So this is a very beautiful purport again. Prabhupada is very wonderful. You see how he is giving every bit of knowledge that is transcendental and material both to full extent that, what is the difficulty in following Krishna consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada says. So here Prabhupada is giving us the experience of what child Parikshit was observing. He was not observing another conditioned soul. He was not observing another living entity. He is observing the Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Living Entity who is unlimited, who is not limited by time, who is not limited by space. This kind of experience we don't have because we are thinking ourselves with the body. So the body is limited to the time and space, and the body is of dead matter. So the feelings are not there. So we need to come out of the bodily concept, first of all, so that we can become a devotee. And once you become a devotee, you will be able to understand that what child Parikshit has observed there in the womb of his mother Uttara. Because the main difference between the living entity and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that we are conditioned and we have limitations. We are controlled by both the time as well as the space and the three modes of material nature and whatnot. Fully conditioned from all perspective. Just like in the womb of a mother, a child's body is so much bound inside that he has no independence to move. He cannot ask for water if he's thirsty. He can't do anything, but he has to tolerate the suffering. Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. In the similar way, this material world is a womb of Durga, and Krishna is the Supreme Father who gave us a chance to get birth. And as long as we are rotting in this particular womb of material world, womb of Durga, this is not the birth, death, old age disease. This is in the womb. Our birth, death, old age disease all together is inside the womb only is happening. The womb of Durga, this material world. So in the womb of one's mother, how much one is suffering, that we have seen from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Similarly, in the womb of Durga, after coming out from the mother's womb, we find ourselves again in the womb of Durga, that is material world. Here, just like in the womb of mother, we are tortured by so many other living entities around. That is called Adi Bhautika Klesha. We are tortured by our own body and mind. That is our Adhyatmika Klesha. We are tortured by unseen enemies or unseen forces. That is Adi Daivika Klesha. This and all we cannot even conquer. So just like in the womb, the child cannot do anything. The worms will be eating, it will be itching, or it will be burning. Mother will be taking something very sore, and that will, give pain to the child. All that he cannot do anything but tolerate being tossed with whatever situation he has been put in. In the similar way, this material world, birth means you got into the womb of this particular Mother Durga, this material world, and you do not have any means of protecting yourself. All kind of sufferings and miseries will come and attack you, and you have to tolerate all that. And why you want to tolerate and live in this material world here? Nobody can save you from within, because everybody is also in the womb of the Mother Durga, which is the material world. We need to very clearly understand how beautifully Prabhupada is explaining us our precarious situation. But when the Lord is descending, whether it is inside the Durga, I mean in the womb of Durga, or he descends into the womb of Mother Uttara, doesn't matter. He is transcendental. He is not limited or conditioned by the modes of material nature or time or space. He is totally independent. Abhijna Swarat is fully cognizant of all, and he is conscious of all his, manifested being, whether directly or indirectly. That is Supreme Personality of God. He is unlimited by time, he is unlimited by space, he is unlimited from every aspect, and is inconceivable. Unless otherwise he wants you to understand, he desires you to understand, you can understand. Whereas we are totally conditioned, we are within the womb, we are full of ignorance, and we do not have any control over the time, nor do we have the control over the space. We don't even have control over our own body. It is growing old despite I don't want it. I'm forced to sleep, though I don't want to sleep. Everything I am forced upon only because I'm thinking I'm this body. Otherwise, I am not forced. I am also as independent, to serve the Lord. So, living being qualitatively one with the Lord. That means that Satchidananda Vigraha of quality is there, but quantitatively there is a great difference between the Supreme Soul and common soul. So this Srila Prabhupada used to give examples in different purports at different places of his writings, that the ocean is salty. A drop of water from the ocean, if you take, that is also salty. So the quality is one and the same for a drop of water as well as the ocean. By chemical formula, the formula remains the same for both one drop of ocean water and the whole ocean. However, how much salt is there in the one drop of water of the ocean, and how much salt could be there in the ocean? If you compare them, the ocean is unlimited. So this is the difference between the soul and Krishna, the Supreme Being. He is all-pervading. We are also all-pervading. We are all-pervading within the body. Within our body only, our pains and pleasures we can feel. That also, don't think that it is I have power to feel all over my body at least. No. If the Lord desires, we'll be paralyzed. And then we won't feel what is going on in our own body also. So we have absolutely no independence. Absolutely no independence. So we are totally dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead's desire. Whereas Krishna, he is all-pervading. He can feel your body pain also. He can feel non-moving body pain also, because everything is created from his energy and he is conscious of his every manifestation directly and indirectly. So that is called all-pervading. So the difference of all-pervadingness we must understand. Just like the quantity of salt in the drop of water of the ocean and the ocean, just like the consciousness of ourselves only spread across our body, and we cannot feel what other body is undergoing pain or pleasure. We cannot know that. So, but the Supreme Being, he knows every body's pain and pleasure, every creation's activity, every moment, what is going on, why it's going on, everything. He is fully cognizant and he is fully independent. He is not controlled by this, anything of his creation. He is not controlled. So he is supremely independent. So, unlimited. That is why it said he is unlimited and inconceivable. And he will be able to influence all places and all the times and all the living beings. That is his potency. Because he is unlimited. And he is all-perceiving, all-pervasive. All-pervasive means again he is unlimited. He can appear within the womb of the mother of child Parikshit also. He is the protector of the righteous. That means who is the righteous? We should know. Not that, okay, I am the son of my father, I inherit my property of my father, that is why I am righteous. No, that is not spelled here as righteous. What is righteous? Prabhupada is giving clear definition in the purport. Who can be protected by the Lord? Anyone who is a surrendered soul unto the Supreme is righteous. And he is specifically protected by the Lord in all circumstances. Not that sometimes the Lord protects and sometimes the Lord leaves. No, doesn't happen at all. We are performing a lot of activities. We are trying to enjoy the fruits of the activities. We are sometimes performing the activities for want of a certain result. But Krishna very clearly telling, see, I am inducing you to perform activity because you are naturally supposed to be my servant. However, you have forgot me. but you don't have any entitlement of the result of what you are performing. Because what you think you are performing, you are not performing. Material modes are performing. He says, no. Maya dektena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. And he says that, what is that? Our purpose is Mayarpita Manobuddhir. Your mind, your intelligence, your words and deeds are supposed to be surrendered unto Krishna. This is Krishna's demanding. He is giving the knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita. Ahankara vimudatma kartaham mati manyate. The fools will think that they are the doer, but actually prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. Actually, it is the three modes of material nature that is actually performing. Guna means modes of material nature. Gunai karmani sarvasha, all kind of activities are performed. That particular prakriti kriyamanani. So I have done this through the material modes of nature, that is performing all the activity. But ahankara vimudmata, the fool who has, thinking himself is with the body, he thinks I am the doer, kartahamiti manyate. This is the foolishness. Our thinking is also wrong. So this is the result of limited thinking. We are thinking we are the body. We cannot think anything beyond the body. We cannot think anything beyond the senses. And so material modes of nature is controlling us. And we are thinking we are controlling the nature. And we are thinking we are the controller. We are thinking we are the doer. Everything is false. Waste of time, energy, everything. We should simply understand we are part and parcel as a subordinate servant of the eternal supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, with the same quality in a minute quantity. So we exhibit the servile attitude with affection and love, without any enviousness, without any reservation, without any restrictions, without any limitation. Ahaituki apratihata. This is my position, and I serve Lord, not because he is the supreme personality of Godhead, not because he is having all the opulences, not because he is very powerful, but because I love him. So I serve him. And what service that he is in need of you, in need of from you? Nothing. He is already Atma Rama. He is self-satisfied. He is all pervasive. Anything he wants, he has already acquired. Everything you want, he has created for you also. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. So he is supremely independent. He is supremely the provider and the protector and the predominator. We are provided and protected and predominated. At least the gratitude we should feel to serve, if not love. At least with the gratitude that I am provided this body to move around, think, act as enemy, act as friend, act as relative, act as otherwise, act as atheist and act as theist, according to my own free will, which is not sweet. With my own free will, which I have misused. I have given this vehicle to misuse my free will or use my free will. The option is mine. So at least the gratitude we should do. If I want to move my hand, I can only desire. I can't move my hand. It is dead matter. It's not me. How can I move something that is not me? So I can only desire. And the Lord, as all pervasive, he is moving the hand according to my desire. And when the Lord doesn't like to move my hand, despite I have desire, I become paralyzed. We need to understand by looking at around us what is going on scientifically as to how things are moving. Every moment, everything is happening only by the mercy of the Lord. Nothing is happening by one's own will. Nothing can happen with one's own will. We do not have any capacity to even move or look or do anything. For everything, we depend on Krishna. And we forget that Krishna, and we are moving and talking and doing so many things, thinking I am the doer. This is nonsense. Total nonsense. We are supposed to perform only devotional service. You can forget everything but Krishna. But we have forgotten Krishna and want to remember everything. This is our problem. This is the problem. So our purpose is to revive our Krishna consciousness. We have developed self-conscious, other conscious, this conscious and that conscious, but Krishna conscious. This is the problem. All that we need to do, give up all other consciousness and become Krishna conscious. How to remember? When do you go for an exam? How do you remember? You wrote Bhakti Shastri exam. You recited the sloka. How did you remember the sloka for the exam? You remember the sloka by reciting again and again and again and again and again and again, reciting with the mouth and hearing through the ear and trying to reproduce that from your mouth. In this way, you have recited. So the forgotten sloka you are able to remember, and now you have forgotten again because you are not reciting. Now, if you again recite, you will remember. You will be able to tell. In the same way, we have forgotten Krishna. And in order to remember him, you keep on reciting again and again and again and again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Again and again and again and again, repeatedly, every day, regularly, 16 rounds of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Then you will remember Krishna. And when you don't chant, you will forget him. And forgetting him is the most unfortunate position a living entity can put himself voluntarily into. The most dangerous situation where the living entity putting himself into, forgetting Krishna, is the most dangerous situation. And remembering Krishna is the most auspicious, the best thing ever one can do. Whether in this material world or in the spiritual world, doesn't matter. Whether in this body or any other body, doesn't matter. The best thing one can do is always remember Krishna and never forget him. And the worst thing one can do is not chanting the holy name or forgetting Krishna. And the moment you forgot Krishna, the moment you are not chanting the holy name, the moment you don't feel the dependency factor, which is true, that only by Krishna's mercy that everything is happening, not a blade of grass will move without sanction of Krishna. So we need to understand that Nirbandha Krishna Sambandha, the relationship between me and my Supreme Personality of Godhead, as being the protector and provider and controller and predominator and my lover and my object of worship, everything is Krishna. We must remember that. Just because we forgot something, it does not, that the thing will not exist. Just because you close your eyes, it is not dark around you. But we put ourselves into the darkness by closing, shutting my eyelids. That's my mistake. That's my mistake. The Lord is showing, he is giving us the knowledge, Jadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. He gives us the knowledge to realize that you fool, you are trying very hard and undergoing a lot of suffering for your existence, but you will never die actually. Why do you want to work for existence here? You always exist as much as the Supreme Lord exists, in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beyond time. All of us exist and Krishna exists. Then what is this struggle for existence? Isn't it a foolish attempt? And the activity we are performing, thinking I am doing struggle for existence, and the activity is also performed by only Prakriti Kriyamanani, not me. And I'm only thinking that I am the doer. How foolish one can be? Can we be more foolish than this? Such a bottom line we have gone into. Just because a mistake of forgetting Krishna, not chanting the holy name. Any attempt is futile attempt and waste of time. It's a suicidal attempt. Without Krishna, you attempt to do anything. You try to perform anything. You try to achieve anything. You try to think of anything, including yourself. Without Krishna is a suicidal attempt. How long we have been suiciding ourselves? Every time we get a body, we are suiciding. And if you don't suicide, the body will anyway be taken away. So we need to come to the consciousness. What is this unconscious life is going on? One should become Krishna conscious. One should spend all his knowledge, his yearnings, his accumulated wealth, relation, everything. One need to become Krishna conscious and serve the Lord. We should not be baffled by the external potency of the Lord. The Lord does not want that. Why do we want it? We want what the Lord wants. He is, even when we are unrighteous, unrighteous means, who is righteous? Prabhupada says here, anyone who is a surrendered soul unto Krishna is righteous. And the unrighteous are us who thinks kartaha miti manyate. I am the doer, I am the protector, I am the controller. That of all that I survey, those are unrighteous. And who is protecting the unrighteous? Still that is Krishna. Isn't it shame on us that despite we deny him and we think ourselves to be what all, and Krishna is still protecting us? Just see how kind Krishna is. How kind Krishna is. He rectifies our sinful activities through his external potency. So, in Bengal, there is a saying that Krishna has 10 hands. That means there are 10 directions through which one can move around or perform anything. The 8 direction plus up and down. And he can appear and disappear from anywhere. His presence is everywhere. Which means his disappearance from the sight of the child Parikshit, as mentioned in this verse, is just like sun setting. Sunset does not mean sun is no more for the night. Sun is there. He is neither setting nor rising. Sun is there in the sky all the time, 24 hours, and there is no night for the sun. We experience 24 hours, both day and night, we say, because half day and half night we have. But sun does not have a night. Sun is always day, and he gives day to everybody who sees. Just like Krishna is all cognizant, he is all conscious of everything. We are limited. We are conscious of only our body. So, and Krishna is very kind. He can even appear into the womb of a child before getting birth. If there is an attack and nobody can protect, including his mother, Krishna can enter there and protect. Just like Parikshit Maharaj. If you are the righteous, if you remember Krishna, if you know that, yes, you are dependent on Krishna, this is our, proper understanding that every moment for everything, including my breathing and movements, I am depending on Krishna. This dependency factor is true whether you understand or not understand. But if you understand, it's for your benefit. So, when Krishna disappeared from the child Parikshit, he was just invisible to the eyes of the child. But he was there. He is present in even an atom. So, Prabhupada is very beautifully telling this entire material world is like the womb of a mother. And we are all put into this womb by the Lord, who is the father of all living entities. So, he is present everywhere, whether it is inside this material womb of Mother Durga or those who are outside. Everywhere he is present. And if you deserve, you will see the Lord. Srila Prabhupada has made us the chance, given us the chance to see the Lord face to face when we are in this body within the same life. Nobody ever thought of doing that. Srila Prabhupada has done, and he has given us the Guru Maharaj who will practically, make us experience that. If and only if we follow sincerely what they say, what Guru Maharaj says, what Prabhupada says, hear from them the pastimes, the Leela of the Lord. Chaitanya Leela is going on every day. Yesterday, how beautifully Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, spending time together was so wonderful, very ecstatic. Who can understand Nityananda Prabhu and who can understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu unless they reveal? So this is very important that without wasting our time anymore, we have to become serious in Krishna consciousness. By chanting the holy name repetitively, we should try to remember Krishna. And Krishna says that Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Not only your intelligence, your forgetfulness and remembrance also I will give. I give. Because we wanted to forget Krishna, actually one cannot forget Krishna. It is impossible to forget Krishna because Krishna is all attractive. He is all pervasive. He is always the protector and provider. How will you ever forget the protector and provider of you every moment? You cannot. But we desire. Because we desire, so Krishna come into the seat, into your heart. Otherwise, you cannot forget by your own. You cannot forget Krishna. So Krishna comes and sit, looking at our free will to forget Krishna. He says, okay, so be it. I'll give you a world where I'm not visible to you. And you will act on your own. And you will forget me. So he gives the forgetfulness. But after coming in contact with the spiritual master or Vaishnavas here, and we started take up the process of chanting the holy name of the Lord, it is the request that we are exhibiting, putting a petition to Krishna that I'm sorry. I want to remember you now. I wanted to forget you. You gave me forgetfulness. Thank you so much. Now enough. So please forgive me and please make me remember in such a way that I will eternally never forget you and always remember you. I want once for all now the revival of my Krishna consciousness and never ever forget that. So evam parampara praptam. Immediately Krishna gives us the Guru through which we receive this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and this is the process of remembering Krishna by reciting. Suppose you want to remember somebody, you have to call out their name, and the calling and remembering simultaneously happens. So we have to call out Krishna's name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are the servant of Radha and Krishna. So we serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. In this way, we recite this particular Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then the revival of Krishna consciousness, nothing but you will be situated in a position where you will never forget Krishna and you will always remember Krishna. And in this particular womb of material world, which is womb of Mother Durga, we don't need to suffer at all. Krishna says, just like crossing the water contained in the calf's hoof print, you can surpass this particular womb of Durga without any difficulty. Simply by chanting the holy name and remembering Krishna, reviving our Krishna consciousness. Performing devotional service is the means of existence. When we don't perform devotional service, we will exist on the material world temporarily, which we will think of ourselves what we are not, and we will act what we are not supposed to act. So to become Krishna consciousness means to become your original person, in constitutionally related with Krishna, as his part and parcel, servital part and parcel, and exhibit our servital attitude. Perform 9 types of devotional service, started with chanting the holy name of the Lord and hearing about Krishna's pastimes, Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. Every day going on, we are given full opportunity, facilitated with all favorable situations. Prasadam is there, photos or deities are there in the house. We know the mantras, we have got Guru, or with Guru we have taken shelter, or we have got Guru. We have the Shastras, we have the Bhagavatam discourses going on every day. We have the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Leela going on every day. You can hear from both Guru as well as your senior disciples every day, both morning and evening, all kind of facilities, chanting the holy name of the Lord, every facility, eating prasadam. What is not there? You are equipped so wonderfully and you are positioned very strongly that you can save the whole world. That much potent you are now. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all this happens. And we ignore all these things and we don't take care of even ourselves, but what to speak of then preaching to others. If we are neglecting this wonderful, favorable situation, which no living entity has ever got in the past histories of millions of years and lifetimes, nobody got this. No Acharya Parampara had given this. No any incarnation has given this. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being the magnanimous, unlimitedly merciful, his unlimitedness in the form of mercy shown. Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the mercy personified. So they have come and given us this particular facilities, the favorable situation to become Krishna conscious, which was never exhibited anywhere, either in this material world or even in Vaikuntha. But they've given us such a thing, and we don't value it. This is our unfortunate situation. Then what to speak of those who have not been taking Krishna consciousness? So we should take it very sincerely and seriously by understanding this value and then give it to others. The more you give, the more you become Krishna conscious. This is something that the more you give, the more it will increase your strength, affection, fixed upness, consciousness, purity, everything, love for Krishna, everything will be increased. So this is not an ordinary thing. So we should become, that is why apna sartha karo kharo paropkara, become Krishna conscious and make others or preach Krishna consciousness. This is our existence right, and this is the way you re-establish the constituent position in relationship with Krishna. Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that those who are distributing this Bhagavad Gita, in the sense those who are giving the message of Krishna, those who talks about Krishna to others, they are very dear to Krishna, and no one else is as dear as them to Krishna. So he is unlimited, and so he can have unlimited, more dear and more dear and more dear, depending upon yayatatmam prapatindetam tataiva bhajamem. How much you preach, that much you will become dear to Krishna. So take advantage of this favorable situation all over the world, and try to become very serious in Krishna consciousness and preach Krishna consciousness. Understand that we are not this body. All the time, remember, we are not this body. Every moment we are depending on Krishna only for everything that is happening. And I am not the doer of anything. I am only the dependent factor of Krishna. He is the predominator. He is the protector. He is the provider. And I have such a wonderful relationship with him. Because I wanted to forget him, I have forgotten. That also a benediction given by Krishna. Now I want to remember him. So chant the holy name with full consciousness and become Krishna conscious and preach Krishna conscious. So that is a purport. Anybody has any questions, comments, or realization, please share with us. Why?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी, इसमें दिया हुआ है, इस तेजोमय आकाश का भौतिक आवरण भी माता प्रकृति के गर्भ की ही भांति है। तो यहाँ प्रकृति को माता कहा गया है, और हम सभी जीवों के पिता भगवान द्वारा उस गर्भ में स्थापित किए गए हैं। तो हम सभी जीवों के पिता भगवान हैं और उस गर्भ में स्थापित किए गए हैं। तो ये तो समझ में आता है। यहाँ पर है, वे सर्वत्र विद्यमान है, सब जगह विद्यमान है, ये भी समझ में। लेकिन यहाँ देखिए, यहाँ तक कि माता दुर्गा के भौतिक गर्भ में भी, और जो इसके लिए सुयोग्य है, वे भगवान का दर्शन कर सकते हैं। तो माता दुर्गा माता तो डेमी गॉड्स है, तो फिर उनका अलग से भौतिक गर्भ है, और वो कौन सा सुयोग्य है जो उसका दर्शन कर सकता है?
ये जो भौतिक अंड जो आप देख रहे हैं
जी,
ये पृथ्वी, ये आकाश, ये पूरा जितने भी ग्रह, ये जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको, जड़ को जो देख रहे हैं, वो है दुर्गा माँ का गर्भ। ये जो होल सृष्टि जो है
जी,
जड़ वस्तु जो है, वो है दुर्गा माँ का गर्भ। तो ये हम भौतिक लोक के अंदर है ना, पृथ्वी में जी रहे हैं हम लोग, भौतिक के अंदर, ये अंड को अंदर जी रहे हैं। हम लोग जो है स्वयं आत्मा है, ना कि ये जड़ है, और ये जड़ शरीर जो है ये दुर्गा है। तो इसलिए हम ये जड़ भौतिक लोक के अंदर आ गया, जब भौतिक लोक के संपर्क होने के कारण, भौतिक वस्तुओं के साथ संपर्क होने के कारण हम अपने आप को खो चुके हैं, हम स्वयं को भूल चुके हैं।
यस प्रभु।
तो ये जो भौतिक का जीवन है, जब तक हम ये शरीर को अपने आप समझ रहे हैं, तब तक हम जो है दुर्गा माँ का गर्भ के अंदर फंसे हुए हैं।
यस प्रभु।
लेकिन भगवान जो है हर जगह पे मौजूद है।
यस प्रभु।
और हम चाहें तो इस भौतिक मदर दुर्गा का जो गर्भ के अंदर होता हुआ भी हम जड़ के साथ संबंध ना होकर के हम कृष्ण भावनामृत में आ सकते हैं, यदि हम उसकी योग्यता अपने आप के अंदर बढ़ा दिया जाए तो। तब हम भगवान को देख सकते हैं, दुर्गा को नहीं, ये जड़ को नहीं देखेंगे, आप फिर भगवान को देखेंगे।
यस प्रभु।
तो ये साध्य है। थैंक यू।
इसके लिए सुयोग्य कौन सा हुआ?
सुजोग मैंने कहां पर लिखा है?
Those who are deserving can see the Lord.
यस, ये भौतिक जो दुर्गा माँ का गर्भ में होता हुआ भी those who are deserving can see the Lord। इसका मतलब ये है कि जो कृष्ण भावनामृत में है वो भगवान को देख सकते हैं।
तो सुयोग्य उसी को माना जाएगा जो
सुजोग वही माना जाता है जो भगवान की शरण में आ जाता है। जो ये एक बार पीछे भी प्रभुपाद जी ने दिया है कि राइटर्स कौन है। एक आप पीछे देखेंगे फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ के अंदर, वहां पर भी ये सुजोग का दूसरे रूप में मीनिंग दिया हुआ, एनीवन हु इज सरेंडर्ड सोल अनटू द सुप्रीम इज राइटर्स। तो यही डिजर्व करते हैं, यही सुजोग है। हाँ, मतलब जो भक्ति करते हैं, मतलब अपना आचार्य परंपरा से दिया गया भक्ति को पालन करता है, और जो ये हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र को गुरु को स्वीकार करता हुआ उनके आदेश के अनुसार 4 नियम को पालन करता हुआ हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का हर रोज 16 माला जपता हो, और इस तरह डेली भागवत कथा और कृष्ण कथा, चैतन्य कथा गुरु और वैष्णवों से सुनता हो, और जो बुक को पढ़ रहा हो, वही जो है योग्यता माना जाता है, सुजोग।
वही सुयोग्य है।
हाँ, वही सुयोग्य है, और वो जो है भगवान को देख सकते हैं। इसी शरीर के अंदर हम होता हुआ बिना मृत्यु को प्राप्त करते हुए हम भगवान को देख सकते हैं, कृष्ण भगवान को देख सकते हैं। तो वही अभ्यास में हम लोग लगे हुए हैं अभी।
यस प्रभु।
इस अभ्यास को और क्या बोलते हैं, सीरियस लिया जाए, और भी क्या बोलते हैं उसको, उत्साह के साथ हम करेंगे तो ये अवश्य साध्य है। थैंक यू।
धन्यवाद प्रभु।
Anybody else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So today is Dwadasi, and we have time up to 9:58 to break. So we'll wind up and break the Ekadasi. Till then, tomorrow we'll have our Bhagavatam class at sharp at 7 o'clock. Till then, Sri Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
जय
जय
Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai.
जय
जय
Bhagavad Satsang ki jai.
जय।
Vaishnav pranam. Vancha kalpataru.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
पतितानां
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। निताय गौर।
हरि हरि हरि।